Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mace, and I'm here with another UFO case from the history files now that I've gotten some better sources, like the big book of UFO facts I just got. And this time it takes place in Trindade, Brazil. Now, this was traditionally a Kaikara fishing village, but today it's a resort area with craft shops and restaurants. And it also belongs to the Serra de Bocaina National Park and is protected by ICMBIO, whatever that is. But this was a case that was debunked initially by Project Blue Book, which we all know that that was their mandate, just like it pretty much is for Arrow now. But I'm going to present the facts as I have them in the book, and just we'll go from there. There's one thing at the end that I have an opinion on, but the rest of it, I'm just going to present the facts as plain as I possibly can. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, this was taken from a 1998 study by Popular Mechanics about the 6 most believable UFO sightings. Now, one thing I didn't know when I started was the deep history that Popular Mechanics had with UFO sightings. I honestly thought it was a strange idea for them to even be involved at all, but I guess they have a long history of publicizing it, so I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but this is where the sighting comes from. Alright, so here's the story as it goes. It happened on Thursday, January 16th, 1958, and the entire crew of the research vessel Almirante Saldanha, many of whom were professional oceanographers and meteorologists, and that means that science was something that they were intimately familiar with. So that speaks to the authenticity of it. They saw fast flying discs in the skies above the island of Trindade in the South Atlantic, and photographer Almiro Barana snapped 6 photographs, and after they were developed and analyzed, it was determined that Barana captured an object with a diameter of 50 feet, traveling at a speed of approximately 600 miles per hour. It glittered at certain moments, Barana told Brazilian magazine O Cruzeiro later, perhaps reflecting the sunlight, perhaps changing its own light. I don't know. It was coming over the sea, moving towards the point called the Gallo Crest. I had lost 30 seconds looking for the object, but the camera was already in my hands, ready when I sighted it clearly, silhouetted against the clouds. I shot 2 photos before it disappeared behind Deserrado Peak. The object remained out of sight for a few seconds behind the peak, reappearing bigger in size and flying in the opposite direction, but lower and closer before, moving at a higher speed. Now, like I said, Barana shot 6 photographs. 2 were useless because of, not having that auto stability of cameras back then. And in order to ensure himself that there wasn't any tampering with them, the captain of the research vessel made him develop the pictures in a makeshift darkroom on board the ship, wearing only in swimming trunks as to not get any sort of chemicals or anything on them. And the pictures were later examined by a Brazilian photo analysis firm and judged to be authentic. Now, UFO debunker Donald H. Menzel initially said the photo showed a plane flying through the fog, but he changed his mind later and said the pictures had just been completely faked by Barana and didn't provide any sort of reason as to why. But both of Menzel's opinions were invalidated by a report released in 1978 by Ground Saucer Watch, a highly regarded organization that specializes in analysis of UFO photographs. The report read in part, "The UFO image is over 50 feet in diameter. The UFO image in each case reveals a vast difference from the photographer camera. The photograph shows no signs of a hoax, like being a hand-thrown thing like people say the McMinnville photo is, or a suspended model. The UFO image is reflecting light and passed all computer tests for an image with substance. The image represents no type of known aircraft or experimental balloon at the time, and digital densitometry reveals a metallic reflection. We are of unanimous opinion that the Brazilian photos are authentic and represent an extraordinary flying object of unknown origin. And NICAP also said, weighing in all the facts, we conclude the pictures appear to be authentic. They are definitely one of the potentially most significant series of UFO photographs on record, so that clarification of the incident and additional analysis is strongly desirable. Now, the Project Blue Book report said that, you know what classic debunker type things said. It's filled with overly scientific terms and littered with must possibly be a hoax, and it smells of the same as always. And everybody questioned their own name in the report when it was released. So, I mean, that tells you to the validity and credibility of the Blue Book report that was provided on it. Now, some critics have said that there's an argument that it was just misidentified natural phenomenon, and it might have been a secret military tested the area that was known for activity during the Cold War, or a lenticular cloud or meteor. And there's lack of definitive evidence on the photographs and eyewitness testimony, i.e. they didn't capture the ship or anything like that. And they said without more proof they can't provide an extraterrestrial hypothesis. And the Navy investigation said that it was an unknown origin object that exhibited flight characteristics beyond capabilities of known human-made aircraft. It didn't confirm it was extraterrestrial life, but it didn't rule out the possibility either. And it garnered international attention and was published in several documentaries, most notably the photographs by Elmiro Barana were widely circulated and analyzed, fueling public interest in the case. In the years following, the case became a focal point for UFO researchers and enthusiasts because of its enduring mystique due to the photographic evidence and the testimony of people that were actual researchers, not just everyday people. One thing that came out years later was that a neighbor and the niece of Barana said that he had faked it using 2 spoons on top of each other. But, I mean, as you can see from the image, and as we usually see from spoons, most of them have kind of a rounded edge at the handle, which makes them impossible to smash up against each other. And also, you would have to hide the handles in the image, or you'd have to hide a string and everything like that. And they just did not have the technology to do that back then. So that I find very hard to believe. I wanted to provide that information for people that, might have a more skeptical approach to it, but I just don't believe the 2 spoons argument that is available for it, especially when the 2 sources don't provide any documentation of any conversations or anything that they had with Barana while he was still around. So that's what I've got for the Trindade UFO case. I mean, it's very interesting. It's got photographs, it's got researchers who actually witnessed it, a lot of researchers, 47 to be exact, and the photos were developed, on the ship, and they were not taken to a developable place or anything like that. Personally, it reminds me of the Calvine photographs. I don't know if you've seen those or not, but I don't know, it does seem like one of the more believable sightings that are out there, to me at least. But there also is a lot of, strange evidence surrounding it. Anyway, that's the Trindade UFO case. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.